Evening all! I have once again made a sonic screwdriver! We had number 1, number 2, and nugget number 3. For this screwdriver, instead of trying to add more things, trying to make it look cooler, this one was meant to be, let's make everything smaller, so when we add more things, we have more room to do it. So this screwdriver was both me trying to make it look cooler, and me trying to get it all to fit in a smaller space. The first screwdriver I made was supposed to look like the 8th Doctors, and the second one was supposed to look like the War Doctors, which within the show is the chronological order. So if we're going off that, the next one along would be the 9th Doctors, which is a perfect opportunity to make everything smaller, because the 9th Doctor screwdriver is a lot smaller. Yeah. Those are absolutely awful drawings. But you see how this one's supposed to look like that, even though this one's a bit rough and bent, and this one was supposed to look somewhat like the War Doctors. But this one is a lot smaller than either of these two, and also it extends. Now, these are all the colours that the screwdrivers have been before. First it was white, then it was colours for a long time, then it was in the show, red, then it was blue, then it was green, then it was blue and green with a little bit of red, then it was orange again, then it was blue again for 14, and now it's white again. On our last screwdriver it was blue. I don't want to make mine just copies of those. I want them to feel like my ideas, an adaptation of those. I like the colour blue. I think royal blue is one of the best colours ever. But a colour I also like is purple. I love purple. Here's me wearing purple. Probably not a lot of footage. So I thought instead of using a blue LED, we've already used one on our last screwdriver, I thought let's go purple. Now, couple issues with that. Purple LEDs, to my understanding, don't really exist. And to those of you saying, I got purple LEDs in my room, first, get a life. Second, they work a little different. Here, you see this? Let me show you. You see, purple LEDs don't really exist. Those are UV LEDs, ultraviolet LEDs, which we've used before. They're sort of purple, sort of blue. It depends how bright you make them. I wanted a pure purple LED, just something that would light it up. On our last screwdriver, the light could glow several different colours. So I thought, why not make it glow several different colours at the same time? I then did a little bit of research and my own testing. Wow, I just sound really up my own arse. And found that not only can that 3-colour LED glow more than 3 colours, I realised something I probably should have realised earlier. On your LED strips that you might have in your room, each one of those little lights are several different LEDs all put together. Here's my research on that, which might have been able to be easily googled. One of the colours I discovered while testing that I can actually have on that LED is violet. Now it wasn't like the true purple that I was really hoping for, but it was very close. It was a nice violet-y sort of colour. So I tried to use that. I'll have a nice violet light for the top of the screwdriver. Then reality struck. Because of, science words, technology words, you had to get the exact amount of power to each leg, because, it's got 4 legs. One for the positive, and each one's a different colour. I didn't need the green leg. I had to have the right amount of blue to red for it to actually come up with that violet. And I blew up 3 LEDs trying to actually get this to work. I tested it with a coin cell battery, but the batteries I use for these screwdrivers are a bit different. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't work. Maybe I could find that out one day. So I couldn't have the nice purple I wanted. So I went online and tried to find your violet LED or purple LED, and the closest thing I could find was some purple fairy lights and magenta LEDs. While the purple fairy lights would have been great, I don't think I would have been able to use those tiny little wires. I just think I'd mess it up. So I bought the magenta ones, and yeah, it worked. So here's me. I know I'm going to have a magenta light at the top, and I'm going to have it really small. But I also want it to extend because, well, I'm not trying to copy those. I wanted them to look somewhat like them. So here's our criteria. It has to extend, it has to be small, it has to be reliable. That last one is because, well, the first screwdriver I made is still going strong, it still lights up, it still does all the other things. This one's on it, sort of on its last legs because of how I put it together. That's really wobbly, the wires aren't, so I have to turn it to the UV, then turn it back, and then it starts working. But if I start flicking it around again, oh, it's actually working this time. It eventually just stops working to fix it. It's a little unreliable. This one's reliable because it's very simple. That one was very complicated. Has to be small. Now, to me, I want it to be as small as possible, but it ended up just being smaller than these two. Has to extend. Now, to extend, on the toys that we get of these, there's usually the inner tube, you know, this plastic section and the top light. That does not look very family friendly. No, that just made it worse. That's yeah, like that. The little thing you push up and down, the little Just Yachty section, yeah, is down here, whereas the outer bit that you extended from is here. Now you can push this down until it hits there, and that's closed, and I can put it back out. Which means we've got a lot less space than just here. We have only like here, we have here, but this size. And we still wanted to do things. Now the past screwdrivers have done these things I'm about to list here. Here are the things I want this one to do. Detect magnets, detect live AC voltage, and have UV lights. I wasn't satisfied with that. That's what the old one does, and if this one just had an added light to that doesn't seem very innovative. If any of you have watched my channel before, you might know I did a video where I tested a few viral electronics hacks. One of them was a device that detected infrared light. That's 4 separate things that I wanted this screwdriver to do. On the last screwdriver, this top section glowed several different colours. It was just using one LED. I wanted to do the same for all these detection things. The UV lights, they're just their own LEDs that you stick in the top. Detecting magnets, that's the green. Live AC voltage will still be red. This time, this added infrared light detector, I want it to be blue. Blue? Yes, blue. And I thought if I could wire them all up to one LED, then we'd be able to see what we were detecting. If there was infrared light, there would be a bit of blue. If there was live AC voltage, a bit of red. If there was magnets, a bit of green. But my dreams were not to last. Because of how these two circuits are put together, I wasn't able to connect them all up to one LED, which it was a bit annoying to me. What I was able to do is connect these two up to one LED. I wanted an LED up here in the top, glows the green and the red. You got the wires going up inside there. This light would be able to tell the difference between the 3 colours, and I thought that was really cool. While still having this top section be a different colour, you know, magenta. And then I would have a second LED, a blue one, down here that would glow blue if it detected any infrared light. Infrared light is the opposite side of the light spectrum to ultraviolet. You got UV, you got all the things we can see, you got infrared. You got all things on the other sides of that, but these are the ones that are important to us. As a side note, I wanted this one to have sound. I bought another sonic screwdriver for the sound, but once again I soldered it in and out of the circuit way too many times. I hate myself for doing that. So it once again does not have sound, I know. But how would we switch to all these different settings to make it do all these different things? The last one, we used a spinny little rotary switch. We can set it to different circuits. But we couldn't use the same one as last time. That's just far too big. Far too big for what we want. It was just way too big. So I had to find a smaller one, which took a while. Eventually I did. It's small, it's very useful. I thought I'd found a bunch of them, I thought they were really common. Then they came, and if you ever see online a rotary encoder, don't accidentally mistake them for a rotary switch. Then you'll end up buying a pack of 10 and £3 down the drain. But eventually, I did find a small rotary switch. So I wanted to have one setting be the UV lights, one setting be the normal light, and originally I wanted these 3 to be all one, but that seemed very difficult. So I made these 2 one circuit, and this one a 4th one. I wanted to have the torch be on while these 3 settings were on, not the UV lights. But while putting it together, I forgot all about it because I hadn't written it down. So they're all 4 separate circuits now. We want it to be chargeable. We want to be able to spin a little thing on the bottom to see what we're doing. My solution was to, I'm running out of space on here, was to have the case, have the circuitry, but then have wires coming out of there, down to the rotary switch, and down to the last section, which would hold the batteries and the battery charger so we can charge the screwdriver. I even put 2 small batteries in this time, 2 small lithium polymer batteries. That way it stays charged for a lot longer, and the other 2 stay charged for a very long while anyway. Now, I was really excited about this. I was so happy. I could finally make this new screwdriver. It could finally fit in my pocket while also being a little bit useful. But in all my drawings, all the wires are just a single pencil line. Just a single line. And that makes fitting everything inside here very, very easy. Until you realise the wire's a lot more like this size compared to the rest of it. Which means it's a lot harder to make things fit. But we carried on. I put the circuit together. I glued piece to piece. And finally, got a third screwdriver. Now, it fits our criteria. It extends. It is small. Even while extended, it is still smaller than the others. The other two are about the same size. When it's not extended, it's even smaller. It fits very well in my pocket. And it fits very well in my hand. See, I wanted to have this be, silver, be full metal. Because purple works with silver, so does the magenta. But it was very hard actually cutting into this. See, I don't have any, circular saw or really anything that would cut, a good groove into this metal. That took a while with a lot of pliers, a lot of scissors. Yes, scissors, and big scissors. But eventually I got it to fit. This little button here, it's made out of a little circle of aluminium. And it's mounted directly on the button, which does make it a little fragile. So I instead of just trying to push it up, I was push my finger in and then push it up, which turns it on. But if you don't address that, then it doesn't matter. Or how just address that. So. But the one thing I don't like is this yellow and green electrical tape. I didn't have any other coloured tape. It is a little wonky, but that's mainly because I used hot glue. But the bottom will always be a little bit bent, especially when you turn it, and then it's... And unlike myself, I would rather the screwdriver wasn't a little curvy. So if you look in the top, there's the little LED is there. If we turn this little bottom section to the left, it glows blue from the UV lights. I've also come to use this as a torch because it's far brighter than the magenta. Turn it once to the right, you get the live AC voltage and magnet detector setting. Here's some footage of that working. And then if we turn it once more to the right, press the button and get a little remote. If you can see that, it glows blue. And that was actually useful. Using this was how I found out that the power button on our remote control wasn't broken. Well, it's broken, but you just need to hold it in for it to actually work. And using the live AC voltage setting, I found out that our shower was put together wrong. It's not dangerous, but it was still put together wrong. If you've watched this far in, and you're thinking, this isn't that detailed, where's the circuit drawing? Where's all the in-depth things? Well, to save this video from being very boring, that video is going to come out on my second channel, a full in-depth dive into how this works, how the circuit was put together. The channel's called Leah Clark, shortened of Amelia Clark. It's a little difficult to find, so I've linked it here and in the description. But not only that, in the description there is a link to a Google Doc. I've also put this link into the past 2 screwdriver videos. It's a detailed analysis of my 2 screwdrivers, of the testing I did, and that will be continually updated before all these videos are put out. I'm going to keep making these screwdrivers and keep making other projects. I've got other projects in mind, not just the screwdrivers. I would like to start my own name for these. They're not sonic in any way. They don't even make a sound. I would like to call it a wave screwdriver. I'd like to start calling them all wave screwdrivers. The first one emits UV light. Well, this one is very sensitive. It detects the electromagnetic field around the wires of the AC voltage circuits. The second one emits light. The UV light detects live AC voltage, and it's a lot less, I would say hardly sensitive at all. It's only when you first turn it on that it actually lights up without being near live AC voltage. But then it also emits infrared light in a specific way that turns off TVs. Those are waves. And now this one detects infrared light. It detects waves. These are wave screwdrivers. I'm way too excited about this. Wave screwdriver. All they need to do is actually, screw things in now. On the bottom is the charger, but disaster struck. I broke my screwdriver. It's seeming to be a bit of a tradition now. The first time I ever take a screwdriver out, either to show it to someone or just for fun, because it's nice to bring things to places. The first time I brought out the first time I took out this one, the little section that holds this down came off. So I had to screw it in with this extra screw. The first time I took this out, it just stopped working entirely. It was a problem with the with connection to the negative of the battery. It just wouldn't work. And this time it just sort of snapped. I tried to see what was wrong. It turns out a couple wires were rubbing against each other, and in me trying to see what that was, along with my very small amount of hot glue put on, just all came off. But now it's fixed and it works. And I'm very happy with it. One thing I'm not very happy with is that several people have told me now that it kind of looks like a vape, just like a long vape. I'm not very happy about that. I don't vape, and I'm not a big fan of it in general. But at least then it doesn't look like something like big and clunky that looks a little suspicious. Any of you got your opinions?
I think it's really good, and I can tell it's a sonic screwdriver, which would be a good thing, obviously. It looks like it probably functions how you intended it to be. It is crooked, which like isn't a problem or anything. It's just aesthetically. I think if you want it looking more like sleek and how it looks, like how you'd want it to look and how it would look if it was like an actual prop, and maybe slightly straighter. And then I see there's like hot glue on it. With the hot glue, it's a good idea using it. What you could do maybe is potentially use like metallic glue-based paint over the top of it, just to like hide the colour like difference, because you can tell. I do really like it. The wires that are showing, I can see some wires. That's a good thing. I think that's cool. The wires look cool that are showing. All in all, I think it's really sleek. It looks really modern.
Fair. Very fair.
It looks really cool, but again, why is it wonky?
You're not wrong either, yeah.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I'm very happy with my third screwdriver, but it's still not perfect. I want to keep making these better. I want to keep making these more compact. I want them to look really good, and I want them to be better. Just continually getting better every time. There'll be a bunch of drawings and designs at the end of the video. So thank you for watching, and good night. Also, one little thing. From now on, from every week I don't post on this channel, I will be posting on my Leah Clark channel. I might change that name. This channel's for all the fun stuff, you know? Whereas my Leah Clark channel is more things I want to talk about. I've got a video about Star Trek on there. I've got a video coming out about The Big Bang Theory.